Alright, in this video I'm going to show you how to do some pretty advanced programming in Mario to add a boss at the end of your level. If you're going to do one of the regular bosses, you can just have an area where they're going to battle, either jumping on him or throwing objects at him. If you're going to use a Bowser at the end, there actually needs to be some lava with some way to actually drop him into it. Usually the easiest way is switch blocks, where you try to get him to land on the middle and then run over to the side and hit the switch so he falls in. But for this one we're just going to use a simple boss. And what we're going to have over here is a wall that prevents the player from getting the star until after the boss is defeated. So to begin, you're going to need to go to View, Layers, and View Events. And we're going to be using both of these windows to actually program the boss death. And I'm going to begin by actually taking out the boss and erasing these blocks so we can do this together. I'm also going to delete the event I created and the layer. So the first thing you can do, again under the Layers window, which is under View, Layers, is add a new layer, and that will be the layer that we use to make the wall. And you can select any blocks for these. I like the stone ones for a castle. But anything should work, and just make sure you're on the new layer to add the blocks. And it'll tell you there as you're adding it that it's on the new layer. And we'll just make a wall. Now you don't see it anymore once they're placed, but we're on the new layer and it still says new layer, so we know those are on the new layer. Now what we can do with that is when the boss dies, we can trigger that layer of blocks to be removed, and then the player can move on and get the star. So for that, we would go to Events, and we're going to add an event, and we can just call it New Event. And for the new event, we want to hide one of the layers, and we want to hide this new layer. So if you click on New Layer and add it over here to Hide Layers, that means when this new event happens, it's going to hide these blocks and get rid of them. You can do some cool things in here also. You could play a sound. There's some cool ones for like defeating a boss. I actually like the dungeon one more. You could even change the music. It's nice to put in a message, something about how they were defeated or something. So I'll just put in here, no, you may have beaten me, but you'll never defeat my uncle. That's Bowser. Alright. And so now that's ready. And so then the final step is just to go to your non-player characters, grab the boss that you're going to use, and under Events, you just, on their death, so this means when that player dies, we want to trigger the new event. And then you can place them in. Looks like he's still going in on the new layer. So I want to put that back to default, so he's just in the game like regular. And I'll set him over here. And now we can test this. At first, if we go over here, there's a wall. So we'll try that again. So we should see now once we defeat him, the message pops up, and now the blocks are gone and we can get the star. We are going to be trying to put your castle levels into different worlds, so you could have a little desert background and a little castle for the desert world, maybe an underwater background and they actually swim over and go in the doorway for the underwater world, or they maybe swim up out of the water and there's a castle up above. So you could use this to kind of transition from the main levels of the world into the castle. Then you're going to want to have some stuff going on inside. So you should have a couple sections, 1 or 2 sections of just kind of getting through the castle, and then a final section where they actually go and defeat the boss, and then a star blocked by a wall, so they can't just jump over the boss and grab the star. They have to actually defeat the boss, trigger the event, make the blocks on the new layer removed, and then get the star.